Hello, angels. My name is Clara, and welcome to When the Moon Rises, a feminine podcast to share stories and tools to hopefully help other beautiful women in the world. So, hello, my lovelies. Welcome to one more episode. So, we have been talking a lot about the body shame, how we accept and find love, self-love, how we develop self-love, and also a little bit about this last time we talked a little bit about the intimacy and relationships. And I thought that this time inviting Grace again to dive a little bit more deeper into the mother wound, because I think there is so much information there that actually influence our attachment patterns and even the relation that we have with our own body, our conception as woman. So I thought inviting as usual to everyone, even to our little Grace, to just take a nice deep breath. I just allow ourselves to even see what it feels super nourishing today. If it is to even like leave a little bit the hands in our heart space, or just continue to breathe deeply, or even look around if there is a particular thing that you want to put in your little sanctuary, like some crystals, or maybe grab some water. Just create this little gorgeous space where you can just let yourself be guided by our conversation. And let go. And whatever it rises, even for me, for Grace, and anyone that is hearing, know that this is a safe place. And you can always come back to your breath, your home. Stay in your body, stay in your life, stay in the moment. Okay, now that we feel a little bit more present, I want you to, make yourself curious, let yourself be guided wherever it rises. I will even let our Grace introduce a little bit this time, just to even know a little bit her beautiful work. Go ahead, Grace. We love to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you again for inviting me to this podcast show today. It's always very inspiring to chat with you, to talk about all these things we also have in common. I'm Grace. I'm a women's health coach, and I especially help women empower them to again feel good in their bodies and to find a loving relationship with food as well. So all of my work is coming from a heart place where I got the chance to heal myself. So it was all in my past as well, and it's like, it's for me. It became more and more important to say I want to be on a mission where I help more and more women to really experience this freedom and this peace with their bodies, with their food, and really to live a life full of joy and in self-love, because that was something I very little experienced in the first half terms of my years here on earth.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much to be with us today. I I really love your energy. I think it's such a beautiful thing as a woman that we come for this. I call it the courageous vulnerability to embrace all these difficult situations from our lives and transform it into a mission. And it's really very beautiful. The ones who didn't hear, go ahead and hear the last episode with Grace. She shares already a little bit about her story, and I think it's so inspired to create these spaces where we can, yeah, we can talk a little bit more about that, and even to, yeah, instead we have this tendency not to many times share a little bit our services, but I think stories really inspires people. So really, really thank you to even like and celebrate yourself to be so, courageous. I even say it this morning. It is beautiful, beautiful gift that you even give to yourself.
Thank you.
So maybe we're going to start a little to understanding what is the mother wound. Did I pronunciate well? Because
The mother wound,
sometimes
yeah.
okay. When I talk about this, for me, I really navigate a little bit to the womb, to our connection with our generation, what happened to even our ancestral line, but even in our grandmothers, what are the beliefs, the patterns, even the traumas passed to our moms, through our moms. It can be evident that it passes to us. So what do you think about this? Do you identify any pattern in your family, for example?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I think of the mother wound, I also think about the things that have been passed through generations. So as parents, we don't only give to our children our DNA, we also give our beliefs, our patterns, how we perceive life, and and I was doing a lot of work for myself as well in these terms, and I know, and I want to emphasize this really here in the beginning, because whenever I talk about these topics with my clients as well, what always comes up is the fear of blaming the mother. And I want to emphasize this before I start talking about this, that I never blame any mother, because I know, with all respect, that every mom is giving her best. And when we talk about this ancestor line, where my mom has got past things from her mom, from the grandmoms, then each and every one is healing already a little bit, because they always feel like, oh, I don't want to pass this to my children. And so through the ancestor line, we're always healing already. So that's what I feel and what I experienced with the work, with myself and with others. And I definitely can say, when it comes to my situation, to my ancestor line, to my mom, to my mother wound, that there is a lot of superficial standards who have been passed. So it's a lot about, and this is also a cultural thing from the Philippines, I have to say, that there is a lot of pressure how you look, and of course this comes from the society. Like, okay, they say like, okay, this is how you look good, but they always put the worth on it. So, so I know that this is something which is in my family very big, when it comes to the mother wand.
The
To
body image,
yeah,
you
yes,
mean?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
There is some examples, and even then we can see navigate together. Thank you for sharing. I think it's a little bit. I think these beliefs are a little bit all around the world. There's some things that are already being work. People are already working and try to break a little bit. I already see many TV shows, even things on the TV, where people are already trying to sensibilize a little bit to different women, different shapes, and how beautiful it is. But yes, there is still a lot of cultural influence in here. For me, one of the patterns I identify my grandmother, and this was something that I did a long time ago, was the abandonment pattern, the feeling that a woman, my grandmother, was abandoned, was left to raise a child without the father figure, uh, which made my grandmother the strong, independent woman. And the way she raises the story that, yeah, the way she raises my mother and the other woman in my family was to be that strong, independent woman. And my mother is very, very feminine. So it was a lot of inner conflict on this. And I think the most healing for me was having this conversation with her, that how much sometimes I felt this I don't know if you are familiar with this feeling that you don't know what to expect for your mother, like, or if it is too warming or suddenly is too bad, not bad, it's not the word I want to use, more assertive, or more, yeah, this vibrate more, the strong independent woman, maybe be a little bit more absent to give you that push. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For me, that not knowing what to expect led me many times don't knowing, should I go for a hug now, or I need to man up and to embrace, shut down my feelings, because that makes me weak,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
maybe that will be even make myself a little bit more victim, or easy target for bad men, in brackets, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And identify this a lot through my life, that instead actually of um, instead of the not attracting it to me, I was attracting, because I was embodying that
Mm-hmm.
abundant pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was keep attracting in order to trigger me to understand that the lack of love I had to myself, to give that love to myself, that nourishing, to never abandon that pieces of myself to others.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and even projected pieces of me that I didn't accept too much. The sensible goal that was only there to protect me, or even to remember me, that sensibility was not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this resonates a little
Mm-hmm.
bit.
Mm-hmm. Very much, yeah. What I definitely hear out is there that you kind of experienced also this. I call it call it walking on eggshells. So you don't know when you were saying like you don't know, should I go for a hug, or can I be vulnerable, or should I man up? And I love this term. But it's so much from society, you know? Because but it brings the child, or let's say this little girl you're describing, into a position where she can't go after her authentic expression, because maybe you had this authentic expression of, oh, I want to have a hug now, I want to be just like behold, but you did not know what to expect if you would do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think this is something a lot of women experience, not only women, a lot of men, and especially in adolescent, like in the child's ages.
Yeah, in the young woods, yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because when we talk about these patterns, so there was a part of me, this is very interesting, that was always chasing for external feminine figures. I remember that today I was looking at that, but someone and attention, this was very healing for me. I started to journal all the beautiful things that woman said to me, because before that it was like there was a lot of competition. I felt the feminine energy in a different way, like women were competing with each other, or feeling even threatened for some energies of the woman, which is also a trait for the mother wound. But definitely the chasing for a feminine figure was interesting, and attention that I didn't always attract, the the feminine figure that I would love to have. I'm not saying I don't love my mom attention. What I'm saying is that hearing something that I really wanted to hear from my mom, and it took a while until that words come to the surface. And it's interesting because when she said to me that words, and I questioned her if she ever wanted to hear that thing also from her mom. And the answer, it was yes. So all the times I was sitting with my inner child saying, I am proud of you. I was not just saying to my inner child all the time. I was saying, like it was my grandmother saying to my mom and giving a hug and said, I am proud of you. Because even in her culture and being divorced was something that bring a lot of shame. Be a divorced woman. So I think it's even interesting to maybe navigate a little bit in the woman conceptions of our families. It might be interesting. You already talked a little about body image. Can you identify something else?
You mean when it comes to the mother wound and
something that was passed to you, maybe you just figure out more later?
I mean, it's not so. What first comes into my mind is not only the body image; it's the image of the woman. So how the woman should behave, or a woman, how a lady has to behave. So that was a that was a big part in my history as well. That I saw that I needed to break out of this. Like I had this time where I wanted to be rebel and didn't brush my hair anymore, always wearing barefoot, like always putting on really big clothes, and like exactly the opposite of what my mom always said, how a woman should behave or look. Like, we are ladies, and we ladies wear high heels and all of these things. And my mom is a lady, and she's amazing when it comes to that. And I don't know how she handled it, that she's traveling with high heels, but that's not me. and I mean, of course, it's linked to the body image, obviously. But it's also really about how to behave. It's not only the image, the outer appearance, it's also the inner appearance, how you talk, what do you do, and how you behave.
Definitely. I think even for everyone that is listening, if you just drop in just for a second, if you recognize this good girl, that needs to behave, this good girl that needs to maybe put herself in a little box to the approval, to the mother approval. And it could be anything you identify. If you even have your journal, and many times I also like to drop a little memories while I'm hearing pods, to take some notes. Maybe this could be interesting. Is there something that you identify for this good girl? Interesting. Yesterday, me and Grace, we were talking about the good girl, and I will give some of my examples also. Maybe then you can continue to navigate. Maybe you can resonate. But I said to you this yesterday. My mom, and it still is like this. Now it's smoothed down. Was she always wanted to ask me and my brother to dress very well. This thing that my son and daughter never go out not looking good. Especially because my mother is a teacher, and in my hometown in Portugal, there is this image: you are a son of a teacher or a daughter of a teacher. They change a lot. Like, you need to have good grades. You already have the pressure. You need to have good grades because, your mother is a teacher. You need to look good. You need to behave because, you go to the street, someone sees you. Oh, you are the daughter of the teacher. Oh, and everyone is looking at you. And there is this image to maintain. So this put me a lot asphyxiate. Like, I'll have a lot of anxiety, panic attacks. I said to you, even I think my eating disorder, part of it came from there. But again, as you talk in the beginning, we're not here to blame anyone. But the more we identify these patterns, also allow us to start to work them deep in ourselves and give us this a little bit that responsibility. What we want to do, who we want to be beyond all this. And for me, I didn't say this yesterday to you because it is very funny though. My mother, she even put me, I went through abusive relationship, and when I finally broke up, I was very, very scared. My self-esteem was very down. And my mother put me on the modeling school. It was very interesting. It's a modeling actress, but it was not so much modeling, but more, actually, a part of it was healing because I was feeling a little bit more feminine and more, that part that was taking away for me. Now, I will rephrase it, that I allowed to take away from me, that I reclaim it back. And it was actually healing, but then we come back to the same pattern, and as you say, like, I need to always look good. I don't always want to look good. If I want to put a nice t-shirt, don't use makeup, I'm also beautiful. I'm also beautiful. So I'm not allowed to do it just because you don't want to do it. I kind of try to reclaim a little bit my body, my decision. And maybe you even relate to this. Is sometimes it kind of creates a conflict, when we reclaim back. Yeah.
This is when this whole empowerment thing comes in, I feel, because you are empowering yourself, you're claiming back your power. And I think it's beautiful how you said it, that it's not been taken away, but you kind of allowed it to give it away. It's really about this responsibility that, I'm responsible. as hard as it sounds sometimes, but and that does not mean that it's like, because again, like as we said at the beginning, it's not to blame any mom or any dad or anyone. It's also not to blame ourselves.
Exactly.
Because especially as children, we're just trying to survive. So like in these situations, because when we feel that the love of our mother is conditionally, because like, okay, if we don't dress up the way my mom wants, or if we don't behave the way our parents like us to be, we feel that love has been taken away from us. And as children, like it's one of our basic needs. We need this love to survive. So we are, of course, trying and finding solutions and finding strategies to survive and to keep this love. So it always makes so much sense whenever we come into the patterns of eating disorders or any other symptoms. It always makes sense. There's always a root cause, a really smart root cause of the body, actually.
It's interesting what you say. The word that pops up in my heart was acceptance. Wow, acceptance. It feels like, and we talked about this before, how many of us got in the period of their lives that, for example, they gain a little bit more weight, they couldn't lose it. It's like we feel invisible and our body finds a way to make us visible for pain that no one is seeing. And you want so bad to be accepted, so bad to be loved, that our body can even do that for us, or even the opposite. For me was actually losing it, but was more like you say the becoming the saviors, which is also one of the traits of the mother wound, is becoming having the savior behavior. We want to save everyone, but all we want is to save ourselves, someone that gives us the hand. And I think subconsciously I even create these conditions for me to save myself for a situation and bringing me a lot of pain. So even I think this is the main question I want to ask for everyone, is how many times we neglect our needs or who we were. Put that everything that it feels makes sense in the box, okay? For the sake of a relationship, for this. And when I talk relationship, not just a romantic one, to be accepted in a group, to be loved by someone, to be finally accepted, for example, in a job. This is interesting because even in jobs now there is this appearance. We need to look like this and like that in the pictures, and we change multiple times our creators to be accepted, to be valued. And how many times in we tune in with the body, how many times we felt that. And you know, when I do that, I feel a little bit pumping in my heart, because it always come a little bit with that frustration that, wow, we are doing this, and we deserve to be loved, we deserve to be accepted, we deserve to be seen, and we are worthy. We are worthy. And it just, when we start to work actually with this wound, I think when we understand why maybe our mother or grandmother didn't, don't feel so much good enough, these patterns of being too perfect, to be perfectionist, and like, you are good enough, you have it all, you don't need to. And a lot of people may have, they call this the validation seeker, maybe resonate. How many papers you have at home for certifications and more certifications that you did in your life? Can you relate to that? For the sake of that validation, yes, mom, look, yes. But this is my dream. Can you please support me in that dream? And even accepted that sometimes they are not yet on the journey. And because that you said, like, no one is to blame, no one. If no one teach our parents how to love themselves, how they can possibly give that to us, how they can possibly teach it self-care practice. Say, for example, each morning give yourself a hug and say, I love you, I love you. Or, I'm not ready yet, I'm willing to love you, every single day. And have this inner talk. If no one teaches how we can do it, and sometimes it's hard to us ourselves need to figure it out alone. And I think that, it is beautiful to have even women, even like you, me, and every other woman that do this work to create these spaces where we don't need to figure it out all alone.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. It really resonates with what we've been talking also yesterday about the topic of reparenting, because it's exactly what you just described is the possibility that we are now, I always describe it like you are now the mom of your inner child, and you have the chance now to give this unconditional love, this pure acceptance to yourself. And not only with with all different layers, no matter if it comes to behaviors, to beliefs, or to just to the appearance, to your body, to the shape of your body. And that's such a beautiful and strong practice. And I really can also invite everyone who is listening to work a little bit around these topics of reparenting yourself.
Yeah, I think I really love this idea. Like, I'm at the outlet of myself now. Oh, it feels so empowering. Like, all that power was taken away, but that it put me like in here on the box, like completely years and years and years. And I said this to you when I had my eating disorder. I lost my voice. This is the I always say this, even to my yoga students, when our legs are too fragile, how we can possibly be grounded. Why I'm saying this too randomly. When we have strong roots, that we are embodied, that we know, we feel safe in our bodies, we feel safe coming home and welcome wherever it rises. We know who we are. We know what we want. We know our passions. Not what the ones that everyone wanted for us. because my mom still picture myself on the a clinic as a psychologist the all day in there in my office, which is attention. If this is your passion, nothing against you, but I'm a person that I don't like just to talk. I need to give other tools. I need to have a space where there is no shares. We need to have space to move. We need to have space to move with our feelings. And it was something that when I was working with victims of crime many years ago, I felt frustration and just talk and cannot do more because I knew I could do more. And so what I'm saying is like, don't putting yourself in that box. I just explore a little, stay curious to explore. If you go, for example, for yoga class or dancing class or whatever, don't look at your size, but how you feel good in your body, to move, to set yourself, play a little bit more, stay curious, find your own expression, find your own being, because it's in these little practices that we start to expand to our areas of our lives. Like go to that job and put your foot on the floor and say, no, I don't like this. This is my boundaries. Name it 4 values and no one can take for you. And you say, this is my values. And reclaim your power back. So when you start to work these little things and feel rooted about who you are, not what other people want for you, it becomes, I call it the revolution, the revolution state. Like, yes, I feel like I'm going against everyone. This can be a very, very, very difficult battle. But it's not about winning. It's reclaiming who you always were. That was there and needed to awake. There was always there. So no one needs to be fixed. It just open up. Now, can you relate to that? Can you feel it like, wow, yes, yeah, I want to go there and dance wild, and I don't care that the other people are seeing. How many of
Absolutely,
us?
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Definitely can relate to that. And I want to add here that because you said that it's a hard battle sometimes, like even though it's not about winning or losing this battle, yeah, but it's about reclaiming your energies. It's very difficult because the society you grew up in. So either if this is your family now with siblings, mom, dad, friends, they see you from this perspective. So they are used to talk with you, be with you, and you are in this box. And then suddenly you are exploring a different area and you are setting boundaries and you are saying no. And suddenly everyone thinks like, oh, what's going on with her? and this does not have to be, but it can create friction. It can create friction, and I've experienced this a lot, also with my partner, because when we met, and we've been together for years now. When we met, I was still in this. I was already very far in my healing journey, but I still were like, kind of swimming after others. Like I was really, I always said I was so flexible with my mind, with my boundaries as well. Like it was always, someone would say that and I was like, yeah, actually I don't mind, okay, I go with them. But when I really asked myself, I actually would have said something different or would have done something different. And so the first year where we met, I was very much like that, and I said like, yeah, I'm easygoing and I just go with you. And I also kind of had these pleasing moments, which you mentioned as well, like that it's also mother one trait. And then there was this breakthrough moment, and I didn't really say like, it's not that, okay, in the agenda there is like, okay, breakthrough day. It was like a shift, but I mostly realized it when I felt like, oh, there is more and more disharmony in our relationship. There is more and more friction. There is more and more conflict. And I was talking at this time, I went to a somatic therapist who taught me a lot as well. And I went to her and I was emphasizing that. I was saying like, hey, I feel very strong in myself. I feel very much empowered. I feel good in myself. But my relationship is like, I don't know what's going on. And she said like, of course. It's so normal. Because suddenly the others, like the people surrounding me, have to get to know me in a new way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Definitely.
beautiful, but it can create friction.
Yeah, again, the revolution
Mm-hmm.
state. It's actually, it's true. This is that there is the, I don't remember all. Okay, I remember there's the evolution. You go. I call it. This is one of the reason my business calls the Beabutterfly is the coming inside out. So it's the evolution, it comes inside, and you are navigating in your waters and your deeper self, and you start to be aware of these patterns and beliefs that don't align with you. And this is why many times, I have that phase in my life. I don't know if you have it too, that I got through a depressive state and I felt like so empty and lost, and oh gosh, I really wanted someone there give me the tools I have today. This is the best gift I can give to my young version of me. To accept it as a part of me that need my hand sometimes. And I felt so lost, and this is what was the part of the evolution. It was the part of me realizing that this don't align with my life anymore. These people, these places, these same routines. And the loss is actually the beginning point, that you realize that this don't serve you anymore, and you create space to start to reclaim the parts of you that was lost in the past. No, there is actually, what is the term wasabi? There is a Japanese word for this, beautiful. They have, I don't know if you must be familiar with this. There is these balls, and they are breaking to pieces, and they put gold to put the pieces back in the can. It means that you can reclaim that part of you yet and make it your beautiful whole, that you are not a broken piece. You can choose that amazing broken pieces and put them together. That is that scars that you look at that made who you are today, and it's so beautiful. So beautiful. And this to say that the again the evolution, when we live the evolution, we come for revolution, that yeah, now I know that this doesn't align with me anymore, so I will start a revolution. And maybe some of the people in your life will not be with you anymore. It just accepted that they were there while the lesson was still being learned, and even create that space in your heart that okay, this is time to let it go. And I know it can be painful, but it happens. But also it's so beautiful when you are reclaiming your power, and even your beloved ones look at you, and yeah, might be some tension this part of the journey because we are different journeys, so it's kind of balance. You are reclaiming your power, and sometimes actually some people feel a little intimidated about this power because they also wanted a lot to be in that state, and also having this beautiful harmony that it's okay that you are there yet, my love, and like you are in your own pace, I'm in your own pace, and this space is always here for us if you ever need to talk about. It is gorgeous. So I think it's very beautiful to say like, yeah, this revolution, you might feel some tension, and how beautiful it was that you both break through together, that that you are accepting your new version. And because you accepted, your partner accepted too. When we start to find love and self-acceptance, we start to attract that around us also. That is how we show love for ourselves, and even start to attract good things. It's gorgeous.
Absolutely. It is, yeah.
Very
It is.
gorgeous. And you are a long time together. That's really, really shows. Maybe a little bit white, some white hairs on the journey.
Absolutely.
It's
a really relationship of growth.
This was what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to say. Just any signs of growth. So, just to start to maybe wind down a little bit, maybe have a little recap of some of the traits that we talk about, and to add some more so you can listen, see if they relate to, and maybe we start to write down. So we went through a little bit of definition, no, but the traits we will explore more: the law of attraction. We love yourself. The more you love yourself and know your boundaries, know your value and worth, you also will work through this. No, so we talk about the savior behaviors, the man up, the need to behave, the good girl. No, the lack of boundaries, the lack of self-worth, the lack of love, even for our own bodies, the perception we have, the beliefs around the woman. And actually, there is one last thing that we didn't talk. We talk a little bit about maybe the fear of judgment, the not approval from our moms. But there is an interesting one just to finish off. We talked about this yesterday and I love so much, is even when we talk about, of course, the shame, the guilt, these come so much often associated with the archetypes. So do you remember we talked yesterday about the slut? The slut. That, again, our revolution. Everyone says we need to be in such a way, so we come up and they say, okay, let me show it all. Maybe to finish up, I think just maybe have a little note, leave a little note about the archetypes. What you would like to say a little bit about that? If it's not the slut, there is other ones. Attention, you know that.
Yeah, I love working and exploring the archetypes because I think they can teach us so much about our beliefs and also about where we are with our self-worth, with our self-perspective, how we see ourselves, with our body image, with our self-image. And I mean, I think we can have a whole podcast only about the archetypes. So what I'm going to share here is more about a personal story, especially because you said like this slut archetype. And for me, it was a long time. So especially in the time where I had I would say like the worst years of my eating disorder, and where I had really such a negative body image, self-image, and such a lack of self-worth and self-love. I needed to prove myself worthy, and the one thing how I really could do that was going out for parties. So because I was a beautiful girl, like when I look at pictures now, like I was training hard every day and I was eating so clean and so neat. So obviously my body was like, for my body image back there, it was still broken. But I had a really good body. And so I was proving that, okay, if my body looks that, I get more compliments and people would like me more. So obviously I would be more worthy. And it's very different, yeah, because it's always, let's say that it's the root cause is the same, the packaging is different. Because other people, and I have been working with clients who experienced this in this way, that they were proving their self-worth by being the 1A student in class, like always bringing home the perfect notes, never coming late to class, like always being in the front seat, and they were getting this compliment and this worthiness, this love from the people surrounding because of their accomplishment in school, for example, or in doing studies. And for me, it was more the way of, oh, okay, my body is still good enough because I went home with a guy. Someone liked me. Someone was approving me, my body. And I think that's when we talk about the archetypes, it's always so interesting when we say, okay, this is the hero archetype, the slut archetype, the bad queen, the mother. Yes, exactly. Like, yeah, there's so much to explore. But for me, it's always important to find out, okay, why did I embody this certain archetype? Because this is where the healing comes in, because we find out why we embodied this archetype.
You don't think that it comes sometimes as a mechanism of defense, or like, reclaiming that part of us that needs so much to gain voice and go out? Like, maybe a quick note. How many of us women have problems on their uterus, like massive bleedings and or cheats? Like for years I have, especially my left ovary, very, very bad. And like I said to you yesterday, the left side is all the mother. It's all connected with the mother energy. So when we start to dive into the deep waters of like womb healing, meaning explore all these emotions, all these beliefs that comes from our ancestral line, and we really create opportunity to start to clean our wombs energetically, emotionally, physically. Our body starts to heal. And I can say that for years I have that. Years, but very bad. I got a situation that the doctors were thinking during my surgery, and was a miracle. The cyst disappeared. It's really interesting how things work. And I have a client when I worked before, then her dysfunctional ovary, it started to be functional again. This to say that the more we dive into these themes, we are just not creating opportunity for us to heal. We are also creating opportunity for our generations, for our future generations. Don't need to have that break that pattern from us. And this is one of the reasons that maybe we can explore and then in other pods more about these archetypes and things. But this was one of the reasons that I was afraid to be mom one day. And I know that that fear was also one of the reasons that my mother took 8 years to get pregnant for me. It is interesting how so much our connection with our mothers, and actually just simply take a moment to talk with them. It gives us opportunity to our inner child start to heal. And I'm not saying that is easy, because a lot of things come to the surface, but it's within that person that we create a space for it. And healing don't always need to be suffering, like many people say. No. It just simply come with the forgiveness and acceptance. Honoring that we are not just cleaning our wombs for us, but other from other generations, that we are doing for the love of all our beautiful women in our lives that made who we are now. Definitely.
Absolutely. Very beautiful said. I would love to share a little anecdote here, a little biological fact, because it's just popping up again and again in my mind since we started talking, and so it's really, so we were talking a lot about these behaviors, these traits which we get from our moms, from our grandmoms, grandmoms, so through the ancestor lines of the mothers. And there is a really interesting biological fact that, you know, the cells, our body cells, they have these mitochondria. So the energy machines of our cells, they create the ATP to have the energy, to make us things do. And these mitochondria, they have DNA as well, of course. And the DNA of the mitochondria is only submitted from the mothers. So
interesting.
So it's always the DNA from the mother, from the grandmother, from the grandmother. It's always going through the female line of the ancestor line. And that's so interesting. I think this is such a beautiful fact to just drop in here because it's not only connected with a spiritual and energetically side we were talking, but only really actually with the biological
so interesting
thing.
So interesting. Wow, I didn't know. It's actually very interesting. There is a lot to dive into this topic, and even like maybe even take a note to dive a little bit more deeper other pods. Obviously that then we can always contact through even Instagram if there's something that you wish to navigate a little bit more deeper. I think now we have just a tiny bit space. Maybe we do a little that would drop in, like you said yesterday, to finish off. Maybe we find ourselves just in a comfortable position. I will change mine. Just putting myself more roots down through the feet. And what we're going to do is just finish off with a little nourishing practice, self-care practice, to send a little love note to our heart, just warming up that inner child of us that was present all this session, and create a beautiful opportunity for this inner child to have maybe a little bit more, live with a little bit more positivity regarding this team. You will see what I want to say. I will put a hand, or whatever it feels better for you, and leave it in your heart, or one in the heart or in the womb space. And maybe your body don't want to be still yet. So if you feel like you want to do a little rocking back and forward, wherever it feels good in your own body. Start to noticing the points of contact of your body with earth. Maybe your feet are in the ground or your sit bones. this support of earth beneath you that's always there for you, no matter what, no matter how much we fall. Try to relax and smooth your shoulders. You don't need to always carry the world on your own shoulders. Your neck, smooth the muscles of your face, your jaw. And you will start to noticing the breath, relaxing your belly, breathing, the rib cage and the belly expand. As you exhale, it relaxes down. And set your own pace wherever you feel more nourishing. If it is a long, deep breath, if it is more smooth, just take a moment here. I'm holding space for you. Within this space, I would like to invite you to picture a young version of you. Any version, could be a baby one, a teenage version, a more recent one. You don't need to be in any particular situation. That naturally come to you. Drop it from the head, coming into your heart. And let this young version of you hug you. Hug you like it was that last hug of your life. Hug you tight. Maybe just create a moment to say thank you. Thank you for being in my life. And keep your breath wherever it rises, if it is tears of joy finally coming home. You know, so often I say something to this inner child of yours, something super nourishing. But maybe this inner child wants to say something else super lovely to you. See what you need the most. Maybe placing the hands on your heart, feeling that below your hands there is this gorgeous heart with so much love and gifts to give to the world. With the energy of your inner child, say something that could be super nourishing for both. Feel the warmth of your hands, the energy coming directly to your heart space. let that energy flow through every cell of your own body, charging with that energy that you wish to embody, that love, that acceptance, that you are so worthy, that you matter because you matter, my love. And with this energy flowing through you, I invite you to take into your heart a very positive, lovely memory that you have, because we so often just hold on to the bad ones. And even if it's difficult, just hold on to that feeling. Something may be funny, then your inner child got a little more rebel and do something very naughty. A memory. Or maybe that memory where your mama finally said or do something that you never noticed before, that it felt so nourishing. Let's create a space for forgiveness in the heart. And just hold on to that memory to fulfill just for a little bit more. I'm holding here the space. I'm finishing with gratitude. Gratitude in your heart. To be able to give yourself some love. Remember that you matter. Remember that might be a little bit more that you can do for your inner child, even today. Put the intention of something little that you can just do it to just let this child play, be wild, and be free like you deserve, my love. Let's take together a nice deep breath, and we are going to do a sound. So it's going to be like this. Once again. Smoothing the nervous system. Coming back to your body, maybe elongate a little bit the breath, feeling your body again. Maybe give a hug to yourself, or just stretch, move your body in a way that it feels good, it feels nourishing, like you're slowly waking up. And you can Just warm up a little bit the hands. Just rub them. And then we place the hands in front of your eyes. On your third eye, feeling the warmth. Remember to always connect with your inner intuition that it is safe to trust in you, that you have everything in this body, my love. You can blink the eyes in between your hands just to be familiar with the color. Maybe even swipe down the hand through the body, just feeling your presence, just swiping the energy back to earth. And you don't need to look immediately to the screen. You can look around and see if there is something where you want to bring your attention in, maybe some color, maybe a picture. And when you wish, you can come back.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was good, nourishing a little bit. Is anything, Grace, that you would like to leave it just a love note, or even something that you want to just to say, just to finish off?
I feel very grounded and embodied at the moment, and I feel like there is not much to add at the moment from my side. I think what I would like to add, though, is that always remind yourself that this is a practice, and when we are all on different stages from our healing journey, of our journey of reclaiming energies, reclaiming our powers, and it's so important that you give yourself this time to grow, to heal, to fall in love with yourself, with your body. It needs time. Reparenting needs time. So give yourself this space.
Thank you. And for all there are listening, maybe you are still lie down or relax, whatever state you are. I will drop on the links below beautiful ways that you can also know a little bit more about Grace, maybe explore even her website, see what aligns in your heart, what sparkles your heart, maybe even like explore a free call and see if there is a possibility to work together. For me, I have, even for Grace or whatever are present, I have a little special invitation, especially because of the energy of Earth now. I'm organizing on the 3rd of July a little ceremony. It comes more like a feminine workshop, but it's like a sisterhood space. You can come as you are. You don't need to pay for anything. If you feel like to give donation, you can give it, but you can come as you are. Don't feel like you need to give something back. It's to receive and to dive a little bit through the energies, maybe dance a little bit, awaken our heart with some mantras, with some movement. Maybe even see if with this full moon there is some route, that something that we want to scream out, that we are holding on our expression. So I just leave it, the link below, if you want to explore it. And thank you for everyone that is listening. Once again, all the links will be available down. You can always even have the Instagram from Grace and mine if you ever want to make some question. And we are sending so much love, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.